welcome back to Real Jobs Are My Forte, Volume 8. We got a great show for you today, packed with some good updates and a very valuable lesson on how to pick your city.
So, as for personal updates, I stopped tutoring because the school year ended, and I'm still waiting on full-time employment at UT, which hopefully should happen in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I started gigging with one cover band. We'll start gigging with another on June 19th. Started doing some mixing and started doing some posing for the movie. Everything's going good.
Now, as for our band updates, our singer OJ actually left the band, not for personal reasons or for music-related reasons, but really he started his own company and he just felt like he didn't have enough time to dedicate himself to this band.
Yes. However, Ben and I decided to call in some great sort of session quality players here to start our own jam, rock, funk, instrumental band. It's going to be great. We're going to play at some small clubs around the area. I'm really excited for it.
Now, as for our lesson, we're going to tell you a little bit about how to pick your city, things to think about when you're picking your city, and in particular also what Austin is kind of like. So the first thing, obviously, if you're a musician is what is the music scene like? So, what kinds of music are there? What kinds of clubs are there? Are they all small? Are they all big? Do they pay at all? These are definitely questions you need to think about. So, for example, in Austin, the most important types of music or the most common types of music are blues and a lot of country. Now, there's a little bit of metal, a little bit of jazz, and a smattering of progressive indie rock kind of stuff like we want to do as well. But blues and country tend to be the predominant forms of music. So just kind of think about this when you're picking your city.
Right. Along the lines, what are the players like in the area? Are there a lot of players per capita? Not too many? Are they good? Are they talented? This is questions you need to ask. And what kind of music do they like? And what are they into? In Austin, there are a lot of players. However, not a lot of talented players.
Yes.
And finding young, talented players is even harder to come by. And as a consequence of all this, the people who are good are very busy, making it hard to get people to join your band.
The third thing you should think about is how expensive is the city? How much space are you going to need? If you're just going to need your, a small apartment because you do everything on a computer, you don't need that much space. Blake and I have this big room here, but we're also fortunate that Austin is relatively cheap. We each pay about $450 a month for this place, and that includes this extra rehearsal space, which is big enough for an entire band, drum kit and all.
Yeah.
So you just need to think about what you need and what you can afford to pay, and what cities are like that.
Right. Another thing to think about is what is the proximity to other cities and how many other people live around the area that you live. So in the case of Austin, there's San Antonio to the south, Houston to the east, and Dallas to the north. That's all kind of within a few hours drive. Now these other cities, they do have people, but the music scene isn't so great. And if you total it all up, it's still nothing compared to living on the East Coast where there's, 70 million people within 8 hours drive. It's not really even close to that down here in Austin. And, is the cities around there places you might want to go visit to help, sort of keep you sane if, you get tired of the one city you live in? These are all things you want to consider.
The next thing you need to think about is, do you want to live there? Literally, do you like the city? Does it have things that you want to do? Does it seem like the people are people you want to hang out with? What are kind of the cultural opportunities there? All these sorts of things. You really need to think about this because you are going to be living there and you're going to try and make friends and try and have an actual life. And it's important that you actually sort of have a lot in common with the city and with the people in the city.
Right. Sort of going along with that, and this point may be particularly geared towards pen musicians, but musicians are not necessarily known for their intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you're the type of person who absolutely needs intellectual conversation and all that kind of stuff, you're just into that, being a nerd, then maybe being a musician, you're not going to be constantly surrounded by all those types of people. Now, very talented musicians do tend to be very intelligent people. However, we kind of already went through the talent part in Austin.
Right. So, as always, feel free to contact us if you have any other questions about how to pick your city. And also, please feel free to contact us if you have any things that you want us to talk about on a post. If you have a post idea, please send us an email, and we'll try and incorporate it into our next lesson.
All right. That's all the time we have. Remember, real jobs aren't your forte. Keep